do Blacklist International wants to allow the Chicha, that is going to be a problem for them. Not only what to pick, but what they're going to ban.
Yeah, so that's the problem, right? When you use up so many of these picks and you only have 2 bans as your starting ones in the global ban pick format, you gotta be thinking like, okay, what am I trading? What am I giving away? What am I trying to play here? Because there's still a lot of things, right? Like the Dolia for Nova, the Chicha for Nova, the Arlie for Nova. All these are available picks that are coming in for the blue team. For Blacklist International, they are scrapping and seeing what are the remaining ones that they can realistically play for their draft.
Yeah, Blacklist International really do not want to see that pay, man. Like it's been in the first game they chose it, and then after that there has been that immediate first ban in the BP.
Yep, we do see that as well, and that's the Chicha we talked about here. Nova Esports favors this pick between Muchi and also Schwan here, so this is definitely going to be an expensive one for the side of Blacklist International to realistically counteract against. There is potential of the Aaron, there is the likes of the things like the Byron to realistically counter against Stren. So it really comes down to Blacklist International. Do you want to counter based on the heroes selected by Nova, or do you want to draft a comfortable team comp with whatever picks that you have left on the red side?
Yeah, and I like the way that they go with, right? Like they choose the Dharma, which can have a lot of sustain. It provides initiation and is really good on the laning stages. And then at the same time, they choose the idea that can be paired up with a lot of other different heroes. So these 2 first picks from Blacklist International, they maximize on their versatility just to wait and see what Nova Esports' next 2 picks are gonna be.
Nova Esports taking a very comfortable route as well, immediately revealing the fact that, hey, this Chicha, I'm comfortable with it going up against Chammy 1's Dharma, so hey, let me pick up a strong marksman, and we will see what Blacklist International have to answer against Muchi's DRNGA here.
So the DRNGA is going to be there paired up with a bodyguard, right? We're going to have the Lapu Lapu and the DRNGA in the 2v2 that we might have in there. Erin is going to be their matchup. So we clearly already have like a very interesting thing. Like we have the matchups for the farm lane and for the clash lane at the same time. Now, what do Nova Esports stars focusing on banning? Jungle or mid?
Ooh, jungle or mid? That's a very good question here. I think both teams are looking to really target down both sides of the mid pool. So it's really down to what is available, right? For the side of Blacklist International, there is still the potential of the Mai Shiranui that can be picked up for them, and we might see Wendy come up with something like a Milady as a counter. So these are like back and forth picks that I enjoy seeing at 4-5 coming in for the second phase of the pick and bans.
Nova Esports just banning that Agudo, and I'm gonna tell you something from that Agudo pick, like that Agudo system, from a lot of the teams that we have in the international stage, I do believe that Blacklist International is one of the teams that plays it to the best. I do like a lot how Josh can be on that Agudo and get all of his teammates around him to really control the tempos. I like that. So Nova Esports at the same time just decides just to ban it away.
Are we gonna see a potential Kong main here coming in for the side of Wendy? It's something that they generally like to do back in 2025, but they deny me that dream. They go for the potential Yu Huan, for the sustain, for the face check against Blacklist International, and they give more priority against Kong Ling on a jungle assassin. Once again, he gets his hand on the feathered foot fade in the jungle.
The fade in there is going to have such a great time, right? Like a lot of very squishy heroes in front of him. You've got the Ganon Mod, you've got the Eren in there. Like it's gonna have a very direct access to their back lane. So right now, Blacklist International, in terms of trying to balance things around, they get the monkey to be able to get enough sustain as well.
Yeah, I like this from the side of Blacklist International. They still manage to use whatever that's left in the pool to make a decent draft for themselves. So you have the Dia, Dia, and Monkey that will be the core fundamental of the team fights, where we see Monkey goes in and then Dia funnels the heal on towards Monkey, and then you have the artillery coming in from the Golden Kite Laurel Princess and Dragon on the Smith and Blade. Coming in towards the Nova Esports side, this is where things start getting interesting. Shren will be a primary target to be looked at when he goes in for those aggressive plays. He's going to be diving in deep and finding Golden and finding Dragon, the twins, as the backline main target of assassination.
I can feel right now that Mutsu on that DRNG ace might be just a little bit of luring people out. I do believe that he's going to play more as a bait, when people are going to jump in, trying to get onto Mutsu, then we will be able to see Shren flanking in with the Chicha, putting pressure on the backline, just for the Fade to come in and then just be able to collect all of the kills. That is how I see the Nova Esports strat going on. Now, on the other side for Blacklist, well, they have the Monkey and the Diadea. Do we want just to jump in and then just try to suck in some damage, try to get enough a vision for the Ganon mod to be accurate enough to burst enemies away? That might be the way that Blacklist International could answer back. What do you think of how they're gonna play this game?
Okay, let's look at the potential combinations here coming in for South Blacklist, right? We're looking at a Diadea Ganon Mo, so maybe we see Chaz 2-2 go in, lock down a specific target, and then Dragon comes in with the freshly forged, jabbing whichever target, right? At the very least, in terms of range advantage, it looks more favorable in towards the hands of Blacklist International if they can find the proper snipes. But in terms of a proper 5v5, it comes down to whoever gets the better engager. Does Lapu Lapu on the hands of Waypip find the perfect engage? Does Kong Ling find the assassination? Or does Chami1 and Justji get into the backline of Nova?
Well, if Waypit can just keep playing the same as he played in the previous game, this is going to be really tough for Blacklist to answer to what that Lapu Lapu can do. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us jump into this. It's going to be game number 4. Nova Esports is going to be on the blue. Blacklist International is going to be on the red.
An interesting start already coming in for the side of Nova Esports here. Sending Wendy, not even taking the first wave in mid, directly towards the Clash lane to get every single thing into the pockets of Cham, from the side of Chami1 here. You can see another 2v1. Chami1 goes in against Wendy, goes in against Shren, but Dragon is here for the rescue here, but Chami1 going dangerously low. Back away here. The Spriteling troops are giving a lot of power, a lot of shielding to deny the kill here, but you can see the fatal arrow coming from the side of Shren, doing a lot of work here. Every time you swap yourself from melee to overkill form, you get 50% CD back on your spell S1 and S2. That's why you can keep seeing Shren spamming those arrows against Chami's face.
I just love the way the Dragon came in clutch just to help Chami1, because on that 2v1 that they had in there, it was gonna look really bad for the Dharma. So Dragon coming in, being able just to push them out is the reason why Chami1 could still stay alive.
Yeah, a very good rotation thus far, elevating some of the pressure that's being on the side of Chami1 here. We can see Kong Ling going on an aggressive jump here on towards Dragon here. Dragon gets chunked out by some of the basic attacks landed on the Kuchiki Byakuya Fate skin. Towards the top side here, we do see Shren stealing yet another fire beak from the side of Blacklist International's jungle.
Slowly, Shren on that Chicha, he knows that his job is just going to be to try to deny Chami1 from some gold. He doesn't want to even go for the kill at this moment. He just wants to chip away his HP bar.
Such an aggressive Chicha coming in for the side of Shren here. Every single resource so far has been going in favor for the Clash lane side of Nova here. Fortunately for the side of Blacklist International, their bottom side is looking super duper strong. They are suppressing Muchi very well. They're doing a really good job, right? Like making sure that they're freezing the wave. Every time that Muchi wants to come in for a specific minion, he has to sacrifice some form of his HP. And if Golden Kai does it, he has heal coming in from Diadea.
So that might be the opening that right now Blacklist International is looking for, right? Just to be able to maximize out of that advantage that they've got on the farm lane in this moment of the game. If we analyze this game compared to the previous ones, we can see that the whole opening has been a lot slower. We have not seen anyone trading yet, but look at that 3v3 over here in the mid lane. The goal is just very clear. Get the gold, move out, and try to find someone lacking over there.
The Dream Roll landing on towards Kongling here. Kongling gets taken down super duper low by the Destined Encounter coming in by Chaz. This potential objective might be in control coming in for the set of BLACKLIST International coming in towards this 4th minute mark.
Wow, just in there, just the accuracy coming in from Dragon, right? And that's the one beautiful thing about that Ganon mode, that you do not need that much damage. The only thing you need to do is just to be accurate, landing the blades specifically on the target that you want.
And Tyrant has already been secured coming in for the side of BLACKLIST International here. A way better early game that's being composed coming in from the Code Breakers here. They secure the Tyrant and they are back towards the farming tempo here. That axe almost stole away the Azure Golem, but BLACKLIST International, they secure it with no harm.
I like it, I like it, I like it. I like the way the BLACKLIST International is right now playing in here. They might not have the advantage in terms of the composition, but again, the key in here is gonna be, how do I beat you in terms of the strat? 3 against 3 over here in the farm lane again.
Yeah, just Wendy sacrificing a lot of resource into the pockets of Kongling here. Kongling being the main benefactor coming in for the Nova Esports side. In terms of resource allocation, we will see a lot of gold going into the pockets of Xuan and also Kongling in the early game. Hence, we see this gold chart here. Kongling is the richest out of all the members here, but it sacrifices dragons. It sacrifices Wendy's gold in that mid lane.
Yeah, of course. Like at the end of the day, Wendy's gonna have to sacrifice himself in terms to give enough advantage for Kongling. So if Kongling is going to be taking that advantage, he better just start capitalizing out of that. The same way as Xuan right now capitalizing out of that movement, he takes on that turret. He's gonna have priority on the rotation.
He might just continue his aggressive push towards the top side here. We do see Kongling jumping in very aggressively with that S2 here, trying to chunk out and get vision for Xuan here. So Xuan getting a bit more damage in towards the top side. Everybody backs off and we are back into a stalemate here.
Sagi, I'm telling you, you gotta keep your eyes on Dragon. He's going to be the main person to observe here on the BLACKLIST. He has been, up until right now, very accurate and just pushing the fade away.
Chammy 1 here looking for the engage. Sets 2 on towards the wall here. Wendy forces the flash to take away. Golden Kai gets the first kill on towards the mid lane coming in from Nova Esports here. Waypin limping away towards safety here. Where is Stren? Stren is still coming to the cavalry here. Muji finds the assassination here as Stren comes in with the Grandmaster's Force going in against 4 members here. But that is so much tankiness from the side of BLACKLIST International squad here as we see Kongling dangerously low. Only 10% health. Muji has no flash. Gets caught by the Dream Rogue here, and that is a big win coming in for the side of BLACKLIST International.
Xuan came in the exactly moment that we needed him to come. He comes in the right ankle, comes in from the flank, but the tankiness from BLACKLIST International at this moment of the game was too much for him. Xuan does not have the items yet, he does not have the damage. He's got the angles, he's got the timing. It was just the wrong moment of the game. Only 7 minutes in here, BLACKLIST was too big a shield for him.
And they managed to take down Wendy, the primary target with the fusion reduction item, which is the venomous staff here. So when he falls down, there's no real threat that could handle him here. Waypin gets caught by the Dream Robe coming in from the side of Just G here. Does trade the life of Golden Kite thus far. Kongling going in for the aggressive chase. Chaz has to burn the flash to escape here. So right now, 1-for-1, Roamer for farm lane in favor for the side of Nova.
Roamer for farm lane, I'll take that every single time. That is Waypit's job right over here, just to tank in so we can have access to the backline. Great movement in here coming in from Waypit, who's having a great performance today.
Yeah, Waypit is just really consistent thus far, finding the re-engage, especially like, hey, he got chunked out by the Dream Bro, but he still went aggressively, knowing for a fact that Golden Kite has no flash. And Kongling, he's a semi-tank fade that we see here, completing the Crimson as well as the Blazing Cape. So he's really tanky on that fade.
Well, let's wait and see what's going to happen in here. You can see BLACKLIST International already decided to start moving together, a 5-man squad rotation that they're going to be doing right now. That's going to give Nova some information, okay? If BLACKLIST International decides to start moving on the 5-man rotation, well, split push and then just go in for the Tyrant. In the moment that they need to go and break apart, to go and clean the waves, that is the trigger for this to happen. For Konglin to come in and control the resources.
We do see that wave pick here, aggressive engage on towards Dragon, start off the fight here. Dragon has no flash, gets caught by the hardened Jade Seal here. Chammy falls, Dragon falls, Just G, defensive dream room to escape towards safety here, but Konglin, he is not yet done. We do see Muchi flashing aggressively against Chaz. Chaz will be the next one to fall. Beautiful stun coming in from Wei. He catches onto his 2 remaining members for the side of Blacklist here. With a 0-5 ace, Nova Esports are in control.
I'm telling you, that should have been a quadra. It was 2 double kills for Konglin. They just stacked them up. It's going to be an ace. Nova Esports wants to finish this game quickly again.
Destroyed a tower.
This is just superior team by prowess, and you talk about Waypit. He's just styling here, as you can see in this instant replay.
He comes in and he gets into Dragon, and that's the main idea. You get Dragon out of the mix, and then there's no damage to actually be afraid of. Konglin comes in, takes some Dragon, and then after that, it was just easy for them just to chip, poke, and then just collect 5 kills in the pocket.
The engage from Wendy was really beautiful as well to catch off the remaining members, Golden Kite and also Just G. And you gotta say, right now with 3000 goldie, it's looking even more healthy for Nova to come in to get this Tyrant with no contention or whatsoever from their opponents.
Alright, so right now Nova is going to be able to take on to that first Shadow Tyrant, which is going to be good news for them. At the same time, let me tell you some better news for them. They have already 2 or 3 Succubus Cloak on their players. They've got 1 on Xuan, they've got 1 on Konglin, they've got 1 on Mutsu. That's already 3 Succubus Cloaks. So the damage coming in from Dragon and at the moment is going to start being just a lot less.
Yeah, and even Waypit is also working towards his own Succubus Cloak as well. That's going to be 4 Succubus Cloak in going to the pockets of Nova Esports. And Golden Kite is going a full magical build on towards Eren, not the traditional on-hit build. So for the DPS coming in from Blacklist, is solely relying on physical damage from Chammy, which is pretty insufficient.
That is going to be very insufficient. That's going to be really difficult for that. Chammy 1 in here, he needs to be an initiation, not on a damage dealer.
Yeah, that's the problem here. We do see the unending sorrow being forced out by Wendy already in this aggressive approach. So far, the defense coming in from Blacklist International has seen pretty consistent stuff. Wendy charges away, gets the Raging Sea on towards the backline here. Hardened Jade Seal on towards the side of Dusty. Chammy 1 finding the re-engage, does not find onto any possible targets here. Strand using the Grandmaster's Forge, doing a lot of damage, almost taking down Chaz. But with the advantage of health bar, so
Blue team has destroyed a tower.
in favor for the Nova.
Right now, Nova Esports over there in the mid lane with the super minions, they're going to have a very clear advantage as they are going to target right now the 2 flanks from Blacklist International. Chammy 1, he was targeted out, and we're talking about the fact that maybe Chammy 1 is going to be the only damage dealer that we're going to have coming in from Blacklist as the Succubus Cloaks are already online. But that's not going to be enough. Who's going to initiate if Chammy 1 is going to have to deal damage?
I think Just G has to be the one that initiates and Chammy 1 comes in, try to swoop a kill on towards Wendy, but that's the problem here. Muchi has the spell to negate that from happening here. We do see the Grandmaster's Force being pumped coming in for the side of Strand here. Going dangerously low, uses the Sprightling Troop to keep himself alive. Just G doesn't get the finalized kill on towards Strand here, and towards the other side of the map, we do see Chaz being the first victim to fall from the Nova firepower here. Losing Just G, losing Chaz, 5v3 head on. This is looking like Nova's chance to potentially get another high ground.
They need to get the high ground. The problem in here is that the Ganon Mo is just so good at defending these turrets that it's not going to be making it an easy feat.
Killing spree.
Wendy aggressively going in with the Mournful Temple here, picks up the kill on towards Golden Kite here. That is no marksman for the next 30 seconds here with the minion waves marching in. This may be the final nail in the coffin as Nova Esports gets the match point in hand. One more win separates them to the finals.
3-1 advantage right now from Nova Esports on top of Blacklist International. They came in with a very solid composition, and they have right now one step away from their second final in a row in our Honor of Kings Invitational Series.
Wow, beautiful stuff, I would say here. The early game was looking very 50-50 coming in for both teams, but Waypit, man. Waypit engaged coming in from the Raging Sea Flash, successfully caught Dragon out of the team fights here. And you know for a fact that they are like saying that, okay guys, Dragon, Gun, and Mo has no flash.
Yeah.
It's 20 seconds on timer, we need to go now. And everybody from Nova just clumping in, jumping on towards the Blacklist members. 5-4-0, a what? Double kill for Kong Lei?
Double kill. That's exactly what
yeah.
happened. It was not even easy for them. Like Kong Lin comes in, takes the 2 kills, and then because they need to chase all the way there to the clash lane, that's the reason why they do not count as a quadra. For me, I'm gonna put it on my stats as an easy quadra.
I mean, stats is stats, right? So we do give him that on paper quadra here, unofficial quadra as we like to talk about it. But the title that suggests us at the bottom here, back and forth battle, win against Blacklist. Nova secures the match point. Yes, we are playing in a best of 7 format. It's a first to 4, and right now with the scoreline, it is looking Nova Esports 3-1, and one more win will send them to the finals to deny the upset coming in by Blacklist.
At this moment in time, it does look a little bit more possible that Nova is going to seal the game and a 4-1 than Blacklist turning it into a 3-2. When you analyze the way that they've been playing in the last 3 games, Nova has completely the control of the game. Later on, when we see the goal chart, we'll be able to understand what I'm talking about. In the moment that they put their foot on the gas, Blacklist International cannot stop them. So that is the issue. The issue is that in the moment that you give Nova a little bit of an advantage, then they just pick up and then they don't stop it there.
Yeah.
Look at how Blacklist was able to kind of just keep it pretty leveled all the way until 8 minutes 50. Little mistakes, big ace, boom. 5 minutes after, 4 minutes after, it's just game done. It's just that. How to go from 0 to 100 real quick.
We need some roamer love here. I do believe that Waypit this game has had a phenomenal Lapu. Every single play was initiated by him. Every single team fight was started by this Reefhat Datu on the hands of this roamer player here. If there's an MVP, a personal one, I gotta give it to Waypit.
I gotta give it to him as well. The way that he's been playing in these 4 games, he deserves to get that MVP. The problem is that look at how Kong Ling's map is looking like. With a performance like this on Kong Ling, and when you analyze only the numbers and you know that the numbers don't lie, Kong Ling was vital for the whole team of Nova to be able to win.
He was very vital and very flexible on his build path as well. Knowing for the fact that if he went like full on assassin mode, he could have been like immediately eradicated by the multiple level of CC coming in by the likes of Just G's, Monkey, Chaz's Diadea, all those CC, right? But instead he went for a different approach. He made sure that he was always alive, make sure that he could always apply the burn effect coming in from the Blazing Cape, so everybody was affected by the Imperial effect. No one gets to heal to full. So that's a very smart approach coming in from the Fate's itemization for the side of Kong Ling.
I do believe that we need to talk a little bit more about itemization, and I do believe that we have a responsibility to educate. So when you see that we jump into this game number 4 and there's a lot of magical damage coming in from Blacklist, that is not on design. That is the decisions that they need to make based on the heroes that they have available. And that made them very predictable because the first set of Succubus Cloak that came out just completely sealed the deal for Nova Esports.
This was the storyline that we had for the side of Blacklist International in Game 2 of this series here, where they went like 4 magical damage, and we expected like, oh, it's just waiting for Succubus Cloaks, but they got outscaled here. But this game, the highlight has to be Waypit on that Lapu here. So many of these beautiful engages by this man on your screen here. Look at how cheerful he is.
Reefhat Datu. I am loving the performance from Waypit today. Just the way that he was always willing to sacrifice himself just to go and really initiate. He is the shield of Nova Esports, and in some moments he was the spear that initiated some very critical fights.
This one was the start of the engage that we see, but the next one is what we need to highlight here. Look at this play. They were timing Dragon's flash to a perfection. Doing perfectly. Okay, Dragon has no flash. Waypit, I'm gonna go now. And Colin is like, okay, bet. I'm gonna follow you. And every single play from there on off was just Colin racking up those kills, padding that KDA stack here. Super well played coming in by Nova Esports Roman.
Oh no, I love it completely, right? And the way that he just uses his flash, comes in, gets the initiation, engages, and then they eliminate Dragon. That is the reason why they were able to take that little ace. Very well done here from Nova Esports. And after that, this one right over here, I thought that Xuan might have just bit a little bit too much, but he was showing that in that Chicha, it's been banned so many times, there's got to be a reason behind it. 3-1 right now for Nova Esports against BLACKLIST International.
Match point at hand. We are not playing in a double elimination format here, so it's at death's door for